So a big welcome to Rugby Park here in Darwin. Big match in front of us, celebrating the relationship between the US Marines and Northern Territory Rugby Union. So two teams out there on the ground. They're actually standing for a minute's silence now in memory of a young fellow by the name of Tom Snell, who played in the under-14 competition, played for the Swamp Dogs and passed away on a trip to Brisbane. So a minute's silence at the ground. President of the Australian American Association. Digby, let's start the emotional moment there, the national anthem, everyone stood for it.
It is a very emotional moment, and it just demonstrates the bond between our two nations.
What do you get out of a game like this?
A lot of passion, a lot of camaraderie, and the extension of the brotherhood that has been forged in blood over the years through wars that we've both fought in.
The US Marines and the Red Sox will be running to right of screen, and the 1st Brigade in the green and gold of Australia. Yeah, so we're about to start here. What are we looking forward to here?
This will be a very strong game. The US Marines have been very competitive over the years. There's an annual match, the 9/11, that's played here, and that they're increasing their skills and technique over the years, and so this should be a really even competition.
How hard was it to put this game together? Was this the first time it's ever been?
Yeah, this is the first one. It was to celebrate their Independence Day, and of course the Marines being out in the field with their exercises. We couldn't hold it on the 4th of July, so it was decided to have it when they returned to Darwin. So this is like celebrating their 241st anniversary of their Independence Day.
You'll hear the noise from the crowd here. Predominantly Marines have come along to cheer their team on when they got that drive going there a second ago. My goodness.
Yeah, there's about over 200 US Marines here. We're expecting a lot more, but they are very vocal and certainly supporting their team.
Digby, can you just tell us how strong is rugby in the United States? They play there, they play other parts of the world?
They certainly do. They an unappreciated fact is when rugby union was last played in the Olympics, I think it was 1954, something like that, the gold medal went to the United States.
Really?
That's a fact, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I suppose it hasn't really got that much traction since then because they're caught up with American football and baseball and all those other sports.
They certainly do, but they got a huge base to draw on, and if you can't make it in the NFL over there, I suppose rugby union's the next best thing. And
it's surprising because you don't hear much of that, so it's a strong sport in the States.
Yes. No, the Americans have been competing at national level. Their team's called the Eagles. I actually got one of their ties, so it's it was quite an honour to receive one of those. But, yeah. It is. Yeah. Well, it's all military out there because the referee, Dylan Harris, I think his name is, he's with the Australian Navy. So you could say a bit impartial.
Yes, he was almost a bit apologetic.
Yeah.
Sitting in with your friends and having a cold drink?
Yes, we've got a number of dignitaries here from both forces, plus local dignitaries, politicians and supporters of the Australian American Association, and rugby union, of course. And Yeah, in the corporate box here, it's going to be a lovely evening.
It's almost a little bit like the game is secondary. So teams make their way back out onto the field here. Half time in this match between the US Marines and 1st Brigade, 22-7 to the 1st Brigade. They're wearing the green and gold. They'll be running to right of screen. That team you can see mostly on your screen there in the dark blue and red. If you're an American, you'd have guessed that would be your team. And in fact, it is. They're going to get the restart. And joining me is the commanding officer of the Marine Rotational Force, Brian Middleton. Hello, Brian.
Hey, how are you? Good to have you.
Yeah, nice to have you here.
Thank you so
enjoying
much.
this?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic opportunity. I mean, we come here and we work pretty hard and train pretty hard, so to be able to step out and do something in the local community like this and a little friendly competition with 1 Brigade's a great opportunity.
So what is your position in terms of the Marines in Australia in the top end?
Yeah, so for all the Marines that rotate through the top end 6 months out of the year, I'm the commanding officer of the force that's here this year, and there's about 1,250 Marines and sailors here this year from April to October here training with the Australians.
And what sort of, and I don't expect you to go into details here, but they use where we are and the land that we're on to actually do specialised training in?
Sure, yeah. We're hosted by 1 Brigade, and we use the same training areas that they do. The Marine Rotational Force is not just in the top end, though. We've got some elements out east as well. So I've got a company that's in Townsville with 3 Brigade as well. But yeah, we really enhance our interoperability by working together during our rotation.
And April to October, you were saying, here's this big kick and taken just inside the touchline there, caught down on the halfway line. And there's a lot of Marines here cheering on as well that are not playing. But that point before you're here between April and October, what happens when it ends in October?
So in October, we'll redeploy the Marines back, and we'll pack up all of our gear. And then there'll be a small element back here that stays in the top end to take care of that, and then we'll see the next rotation in April next year.
And is it a different group that comes out each time?
Each time there's a different group. Some guys repeat, but for the most part, it's a different group that gets to come out each time.
And are the Australians welcoming of them because they have recreational time as well, which I'd imagine they'd spend in the Darwin community?
Well, I tell you, it's been a real first-class reception for the Marines. As we're here, I'm just watching this happen unfold in front of me here. But, yeah, we're very well taken care of, both aboard the base there with the Brigade and then out in town as well. And a lot of the Marines get an opportunity to get out. We've done a lot of community relations projects with the local schools, and so it's a great experience for the Marines.
And we've seen you playing, some of the players actually playing here in the local competition as well. How popular is rugby in the amongst the US Marines?
So I think it's not as popular as gridiron or baseball, but I'd say that there's a good amount of Marines that have at least played before, and we got a couple guys on the team here that played either in high school or in college. But certainly it's not as popular as gridiron. I already told the Brigade, the acting commander, that after this game we'll have to schedule the gridiron game here to even things out a little bit.
Well, do you know, many years ago, here's a chance here for a break up over halfway and bundled into touch out there. Many years ago they'd have a double header on the one day. They'd have an Aussie rules match played, and then they'd bring in the post and put them up, and then they'd have a rugby match played. There's no reason why you couldn't have the same thing happening here with the
gridiron and rugby. Yeah. I think that's a great idea. I should have thought of it before we came out for this one.
Oh, well, maybe when you come back next time.
Yeah.
What a draw card that'd be for the local community to come out.
Yeah, I tell you. Yeah, we'd be up for that.
So here a bit of a break now for the 1st Brigade, up over halfway. Little pass goes backward there out of Mohammed's hand. Out wide, big tackle. Ball lost. Pick up in the run. Whistle's gone from the referee. And he's going to order a scrum here. Do you know the game well enough?
I actually don't know the game really very well at all.
What's your sporting interest?
Yeah, I do like gridiron and baseball as well.
Playing both?
Growing up, I played both, yeah.
Yeah. I must say I was in the United States in New York, and I went and saw the baseball for the first time, and it was the Yankees, and I can't remember who they were playing. It was another New York team.
The Mets?
Yeah, it might have been the Mets.
Potentially, yeah.
Had a massive big crowd on there, and what struck me that I found really interesting was that everyone just really enjoyed the event.
Yeah.
Like, here people, if your team's not winning, they get down in the mouth. They feel so. At the end of the game, you lose. Half of them walk out with their, chin on the ground. But there, people are slapping each other on the back and really enjoying it. They want to win. The passion's still there, but they enjoy the spectacle of it.
I think sometimes that's a bad thing. Professional baseball plays about 185 games in a year, so a lot of people don't get really charged up about it until the playoffs in the last couple of games. Right. It's a long season. So
do you follow a baseball team?
I grew up in Texas, and so the Texas Rangers is my professional team. Yeah.
Yep. And what about in the American football?
Dallas Cowboys, same for the same reason.
I
grew up in that Dallas area, all Texas.
So you're from Dallas?
I am. I grew up born and raised there.
So we visited Dallas on our trip overseas and spent a few days there, enjoyed it. Went along to the Kennedy Museum, of course, where every tourist goes, and sad moment for us all to see that. We'll just get this line out the way and then let you go back, and I suppose the people you're supposed to be mixing with think we're hogging you, and we don't want to be accused of doing that.
No, not at all. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure.
So we've got a line out here.
Well, I know the Marines don't get to play very often here. I'm glad we're on the board, and I'm not giving up with 20 minutes left here.
So they're playing the two halves. There's that line goes right over the top. It's a long throw into the line out, and they'll build this here. They look very threatening at the moment, I can tell you, 1st Brigade. And just if they can get the ball out wide, they're a bit undermanned out there, the US Marines. They're going to just try and work this pick and drive, really. That's what they're trying to do. Now they're thinking about going wide. The step back infield was pretty good too. It's a good step by Wade. Goes to ground with the ball. Going to come back the other way. Straight through. Step through. He got through a few of them and got within 5 metres, almost 5 metres of the line. Out wide. They've got an extra player out wide. If they can go there, he's going to dive at the line and go over. Well, hard run close to the line. It's always going to be hard to stop, and he was over for the try. So another try here to the 1st Brigade, and they're playing pretty sparkling rugby at the moment. So joining me is Brian Middleton, who's the commanding officer of the Marine Rotational Force. So another try against you, but you're not feeling too bad about that, are you?
Well, we understood, I think, that we didn't grow up playing this sport, so like all good Marines, we're willing to try anything here. We will certainly prepare a lot more for next year's game. So.
Well, I was talking a little earlier on to Digby Hart, the president of the Australian American Association, so I went in the room with the American team when they were getting ready, and wow, talk about a military operation. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, we may be losing on the board right now, but I guarantee we do our fighting job here pretty well. So.
Well done. We'll let you go back and spend time with your friends, but Brian Middleton, thank you so much.
No, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks so much. Hey, thank you.
Nice to see you here.